So let's cover some of the basic blackjack table variations. Even though I say blackjack, it does not mean that all tables are going to be the same. So first thing we need to look at is the shoe size. How many decks are being used in this game of blackjack? So the range is going to range anywhere from 1 deck to 8 decks. However, usually the 2 deck and 6 deck blackjack combinations are going to be more common. Also, probably the most important thing you need to note is what does a blackjack pay? So usually you'll see this on the felt in a table. It'll say blackjack pays 3 to 2, or sometimes you'll see those 6 to 5 tables. I can just tell you straight up right now, stay away from those 6 to 5 tables, and I'll show you why here in just a few minutes. Another rule variation is surrender allowed? Surrender means you can surrender a hand once the dealer looks for a blackjack, and you can possibly receive half of your bet back if you do decide to surrender. What does the dealer do on a soft 17? This is another one of those rules that should be available on the felt of a table. So does the dealer hit on a soft 17, which gives the house a little bit more of an advantage, or does the dealer stay on a soft 17, and when they stand on a soft 17, it gives the player a little bit of an edge. Then here are some other rules: doubling after a split, resplitting aces, hitting after a split of aces, and doubling any 2 cards. So the house edge, so each table rule is going to influence the house edge that it has over a player. Some of the best table odds that I saw in Vegas was 0.255%. And some of the worst table odds that I saw in Vegas was approaching 2%. So blackjack traditionally has been one of those games that has a great player odds in the casino. Also, baccarat and craps playing the pass line also have some great player odds. However, you'll see some table variations in Vegas that decrease these great odds and make it more of a sucker game. So we'll go over that here in a minute. But let's look at the various rules that it has. I won't read each of these off, but I do want to just point out, to have a player advantage, you play at tables with less decks. If you find ones that stay on soft 17, and also tables that have the surrender rule. Those 3 things are probably going to give you the best odds at a table without having to search too hard. So look for less decks, the surrender rule, and staying on a soft 17. Without a doubt, stay away from blackjack tables that pay 6 to 5. That is the biggest sucker bet that you can do is play at a table that pays 6 to 5. Also, you'll be hard pressed to find tables that stand on soft 17 unless if you're playing in a higher limit area. So again, the best thing that you can do is never walk into a casino and play those tables that have 6 to 5 blackjack payouts. So let's take a look. I went to Vegas here recently. I took note of some of the more common tables that I saw. So here we go. The most common table that you see when you walk into a casino entrance. So you're walking up and down the strip, you walk into a casino entrance, and you'll see this little party pit area with possibly girls dancing behind the table there. It'll usually have some of the more attractive dealers. You'll see a lot more people playing at these. Here the dealer is going to hit on a soft 17. There's going to be no surrender rule in place. But most importantly, blackjack is only going to pay 6 to 5. And like I said, stay away from these tables at all costs, because here in this scenario, the house edge is going to be 1.786%. And that is terrible. So you'll see this come up in some of the entrances to the casinos. Stay away from the entrance tables for the most part. Just make sure you know what you're getting into. Here is a little bit better of a scenario. Here's still 6 deck per shoe. The dealer is still going to hit on a soft 17. You can still split 4 times unless if they're aces, in which case you can't split or hit after you split there. Blackjack this time is going to pay 3 to 2. So the last shoe that we talked about paid 6 to 5. This time we're paying 3 to 2. The house edge here is only 0.639%. So just changing the blackjack payout is going to give us a major improvement in our player odds. So I'm going to go back a slide. Here's 1.786. Here's 0.639. Notice 3-2 blackjack versus 6-5 blackjack is going to make a world of difference. So this is going to be a more common table game that you're going to find more inside the casino, usually tucked away on the edge of the table games. However, this is a very common scenario. So now we're looking at a 6 deck again, but this time the dealer is going to stay on a soft 17, and also surrender is allowed. Blackjack still pays 3-2, and we have some of the same split rules that I just talked about. So where will you find this table? Usually this table is going to cost you at least $50 a hand in a high limit room. But here we have a house edge of only 0.354%. So now that the dealer is staying on a soft 17 and we implemented the surrender rule, playing with optimal blackjack strategy, the house edge is only 0.354%. So we're improving our odds as we search deeper and deeper, and also the limits go up and up. And then finally, here is the best table payout, or the best table odds that I found in all of Vegas on my most recent trip. It was a 2-deck table. The dealer is going to stay on a soft 17. You cannot resplit aces. You can't hit split aces. So again, the same split rules. Blackjack is going to pay 3-2. This time there's going to be no surrender, and there's going to be no mid-shoe entry since it is a 2-deck game. So notice, dealer is still going to stay on a soft 17. Blackjack is still going to pay 3-2. This time we took away surrender from that last six deck high limit scenario, but this time we're decreasing the number of decks per shoe. We have a house edge of only 0.255%. This is about as good as you're ever going to find in Vegas. This is pretty liberal strip rules as I've seen them. So this is the table that I played at. Again, I'm not here to just donate money to the casino. I'm here to give myself the best odds I have, the best chance of winning, especially when I'm going to be playing $50 to $100 per hand. So here, you'll have to search pretty hard. You'll have to go during midday instead of evenings, because in evenings they increase or they change the rule variations to increase their house edge. So again, this you're going to be pretty hard pressed to find without paying $50 to $100 a hand here. So the basic casino mentality, the more you bet, the better your odds. So again, when you go to the high limits room, you're going to find tables with better player odd rule variations. So again, you can go back to earlier in my presentation to find out what they are. Less decks, blackjack that pays 3-2, dealer standing on a soft 17. Now, the casino is going to do anything it can to make more money. That means that it's going to put the party pit tables in that pay 6-5, especially during nights and weekends when they have a lot of players come in, and those players are just looking to have a good time, to throw away money. They'll implement the 6-5 blackjack payout tables, which are terrible. If you're here to actually make money in Vegas, or at least give yourself a good chance of walking away a winner, don't play at a sucker table. And then lastly, this note here, a continuous shuffler is going to benefit both the casino and the average player. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, it's going to benefit the casino because it's going to eliminate card counters. A continuous shuffler takes the mucked cards, introduces them randomly into a continuously played shoe, and you'll never have to take time off to shuffle the cards because it's continuously shuffling after each hand. Now, it's going to also benefit the average player. It's hard to describe. However, I do recommend that you go to wizardofodds.com to get a better explanation of why it benefits the average player. Now, the average player is not card counting, so it'll actually decrease the house edge over the player by just a fraction of a percent when versus a normal standard shuffled shoe with a cut card. So here you see some of the various rules. Hopefully you found this video useful, and definitely feel free to comment, like, and subscribe.